and sexuality and erotic content creator, photographer, and I also in my studio I would like to talk about sexual. I think that boudoir photography, nude photography, it's for confidence boost, it's for exploration, it's for people to experiment, it's people to see and recognize their body, for people to compare themselves to the others and actually to understand and accept themselves, right? Because social media present us very unrealistic forms and shapes, and people are going into a lot into beauty therapies, right, and changing the way they look. Okay, that's very much affect normal people, right? When people come to create erotic photography, erotic photo shoots, they have very high expectations, because they see others on social media, right? So they want to create in photography an amazing, very sexy images, right? That's the goal, okay? And that is fine, right? But I always at my studio concentrate on, that's why we're making this, right? It is not only hot pictures that, but most importantly, I encourage people to feel. Most importantly, I encourage people to feel who they are and present their body in a certain manner. That means not to act, not to pretend, okay? Be themselves, right? Erotic photography is, for me, representing a human nature, right? The shape, in the shape that in the body that he is now, at that present moment, okay? Erotic photography, it's not creating that they see someone very hot and sexy, and then they come to the studio and replicate that. It's not about that. Erotic photography, it's about you. It's about who you are, how you feel, okay, and what you represent. And the way you represent yourself goes through the confident and authentic energy. And that consists, and actually, you know, this is like sexual energy, okay? People very much afraid, it's a taboo to talk about it, but every confident man and the woman express their sexual energy, okay? Confidence is in their sexual energy for adults. And when we see powerful people, right, that's the marker that we recognize, sexual marker, okay? So when you want to be somewhere higher than you are, you work on yourself and on your sexual energy. Adults have this vibration, children don't, okay? But very much, how to say, I noticed, right, when adults come to create erotic photo shoot and being nervous and being scared, okay, being awkward, not accepting themselves, do not like their shape, do not like their size, and do not like how, you know, the body being formed, how the body is aging, right? That's the sexual vibration in the negative mode, okay, in the negative mode, because the confidence is missing, okay? Sexual energy has a very high confident note. Okay, sexuality is in general confidence, right? When we see people on stage and we admire their confidence, how brave they are, how focused they are, how true they are, okay, that's the sexual energy. We think this is confidence and competence, but that's an addition to sexual energy. We recognize the marker straight away and we connect with the sexual marker, right? Adults connect with the adults through the energy, and what we recognize is sexuality, okay? And what is the sexuality? Sexuality is the energy how we came to this world, okay? We've been created through a sexual energy, okay? That's the first thing. So this is the gate how we entered, and I believe that this is the gate how we can leave this planet, okay? One door, okay? We enter into this world through a sexual energy. And I believe, okay, because people are very scared of dying. You see, they don't know that this is one door. They have to live through the same door. What happens with the aging, we stop practicing and we stop vibrating with sexual energy. We lose the interest, okay? We block the fantasies, okay? We suppress ourselves and then become not interested, right? When the body is, okay? We suppress ourselves and then become not interested, right? When the body is not interested, has no vibrancy, you don't feel alive, you're getting old. You get older because when you have the sexual energy inside you, and level, it's a different, inspired. Cell is alive, you know. It's not that you are sexually vibrated in an intimate area. Okay, that's not how it works. You are sexually vibrated in an intimate area. Okay, that's not how it works. But parts, you know what I mean. Okay, when we think about intimacy with your partner, some people just, that parts, you know what I mean. Okay, when we think about intimacy with your partner, some people just, you know, doing this. I actually have a broken arm, so it's different for me today to translate it, but I'm gonna say now very quickly, hi, I jumped on the live and I have a very short time period I can stay with you, so very quickly you can ask me questions about erotic. A very short time period I can stay with you, so very quickly you can ask me questions about erotic photography, okay, about erotic video. I create adult content in my studio in London, right? And discussing today sexuality, because this energy is all we need, okay? And I put on my Facebook this note very recently that what I want is, I want the world, okay? People wake up and they think about money. Yeah, money and sexual energy, it's actually on the same level, right? So when you are sexually expressed, visible to the world, confident, right, then you are okay financially. And adults are okay financially. There are adults who vibrate still in a child's energy. And child's energy, you know, children don't know how to solve the problems. Children are scared, confused, rely on someone, okay, waiting till adult will come and help them. They cannot find their own solutions. They're learning. You see, they're learning, right? So children vibrate in a different energy than adults. Adults vibrate in a sexual energy. Children has their ego just developed. Okay? They're just learning, right? So it is okay for children to be scared, to be anxious, yeah. Okay? They're just learning, right? So it is okay for children to be scared, to be anxious, yeah, to be nervous, okay? When adults vibrate in this energy, right, it flips from the sexual energy into being weak, not strong, right? The negative emotion taking over, and that is very much reflected on adults' life. Okay, universe, you see, when you vibrate in child's energy, universe sets everything this way that children do not have relationship and they don't have businesses. Okay, that's how the universe change life for them, right? So when you just flip into your adult state and into your adult energy, you get all those bonuses, you know, you get all those bonuses. 15 messages. Okay, let me quickly say hi, hello, and let me see if I see any messages. Only one choice away from a different life. That's so true. You know, it's like, it's the same. It's like you are in the game, okay? You are in the game and you can see one way and it will be one scenario, right? As soon as you turn, you don't need even to change, right? Much things. As soon as you change your energy, you will turn into a different picture, and you will see that your life will lay out in a different way. It happened to me. Okay, happened to me. I can tell you, I went through an evolution. I came from the village. I was like a country girl, okay, very naive and very scared, okay, country girl, and came to London, and it changed me. It changed me, right? So we are one step away, definitely. I agree with that. Okay, replication is the best mirror for most, but it's confident is the best way for them to be okay. To be okay with, I'm losing here the point, okay, but the best mirror is your children and is your spouse. That is the best mirror, okay. We are receiving those humans, okay, they're arriving to our life to show us who we are, because we don't know who we are, okay. So other people are the mirrors and reflects us, okay, reflect our energies, okay. So when you look at the mirror, usually you do not see how you look like, okay, especially if your brain, the coding showing a programming that's been programmed by someone else. That's a very big, a huge topic, okay, and that's happened during erotic photography. There are a lot of people who do not like themselves and do not accept themselves and go through a challenge during erotic photography and nude photography when they need to undress, when they need to perform, when they need to be themselves. When I'm saying don't act, don't pretend, don't think that this thing what you've seen somewhere online is you, okay. Let's make something what is unique and authentic to you, and people freeze because they don't know what that is, you know. So when we go through stages of development of that confidence in themselves, being themselves, they can see in the pictures before and after how it transformed and how it changed. During the session, if you have a real professional on you know, in the studio with you on set, okay, that person is able to make a bigger impact than you would be sitting with the shrink in the office and just chit chat and talk about it. Because when effective change happens, when you take action, okay, when you take action and actually do something with your body and with your mindset, right? And the body always reveals what is in your mind, okay. You can pretend you are very confident, but when you need to undress and your body is not confident, doesn't show anything. So how it is, the body posture, okay, the hands, the face, the many things that shows your mental state, okay, the way you are. So erotic photography, it's another mirror of you, right? Because there is so many information what is hidden inside you, and you are particles of your family, okay, and the generations behind your family. So you consist of a lot of other people, okay, and then when you're growing up, you receive an information from other people who participated in your programming, you know, in your family. When you become an adult, you realize that you need to strip off all these layers because they are strange to you. You want to strip off to the point, to the core, to understand what kind of spirit, the soul, the human you are, okay. And that's the thing what we're doing during the photo shoot. We're removing this energy, okay. Energy is not created yet. Energy is not created yet live. Okay, someone is writing me messages, and I can tell you one thing. Okay, someone is writing me messages, and I can tell you one thing. Okay, so I came from a different background and different coding, and here I know I'm talking to another part of the world. Okay, and so we might loosen the translation, okay, because Julia not comprehend maybe all the things, okay, what you mean, like your programming coming from the other part of the world, right? So that could be a certain, you know, certain error. So I cannot do not understand, I would be guessing here, okay? But energy, you born with the energy, you born from the energy. Without the energy you would not be here, okay? The conscious mind is that energy who knows how you're supposed to be, what size you're supposed to be, how you should look in every stage of your life. That's the coding, right? So you come with the energy and with the coding. And when you consume food, right, you consume food, you produce just 30% of energy to yourself, which takes brain most of the time, okay? The brain is a very hungry creature and very brain most of the time, okay? The brain is a very hungry creature and very clever creature, okay? So it takes most of your energy, right? Energy. Okay, 20 messages. Let me quickly scroll and say hi. I am back from the short absence. Okay, let me just quickly say hello, hi, hello, hi, hello, hi, hello. I don't see all the messages, unfortunately. If that will be something very important or interesting, I will reply later. Sometimes if I will get a very good question, I will go online and answer. Okay, I will answer. I just remembered once I was online and there was one guy here on TikTok who was telling me, I was talking about loneliness, okay? Because loneliness and sexual energy, you know, they are combined, okay? People, when they're lonely, they're stuck in a certain situation, okay? They're afraid to do something about it or go forward. They get used to the situation because the brain, you see, it's a fella that wants to keep you safe, right? Doesn't want any changes to the situation because the brain, you see, it's a fella that wants to keep you safe, right? Doesn't want any changes. It's good the way it is, okay? It's not gonna encourage you to go and how to say, and put yourself in an awkward situation or unpleasant. Encourage you to go and how to say, and put yourself in an awkward situation or unpleasant situation, okay? It protects you. It protects you, okay? So that's little bit related to the loneliness, why it is very comfortable to stay where it is and not change anything, right? But this guy was writing me that he fed up. He fed up, he wants to change, he wants to live. You as an adult, you have all the information. It's all installed in you. There are no questions that you don't know. Every information is here, okay? There is no one else can tell you what you should do. There is no one else. Okay, you have to extract in here and find that way, because only you walk in your path. Only you came from the gene pool that you came from. Only you grown up in the place where you grown up. Only you had those parents or those teachers or those friends. No one can tell you what to do. When people are thinking that they will follow someone else and they get the same result, they never get the same result, because this is their life. You know, this is their path. So everyone has to find their own way, but to find that own way, they first have to know who they are. Okay, so I'm coming back again. When the adult doesn't know what to do about relationship, how to create a relationship, what happens is, who doesn't know what to do? Who is scared? Who is confused? Who is lost in life? Children. Okay, so there are traumatic experiences in life when people flip from the adult state and adult energy into the state when they don't know, when they're scared, when they don't know what is the next step, how to find themselves, how to go into the path that they're supposed to. It's one flip. It's so straightforward very often, but people don't know about it and they're being stuck. How to check yourself if you stuck. It's very simple. Does life giving you money, relationship, health, okay, and what is that? What else? What else? Happiness. Yeah. If you have everything, then you don't need anything, right? You are on your way. Appreciate, right? When these things missing, then it means that you are not in the adult vibration. Especially it reflects on money. Okay, the first thing, right? Because children, you see, they don't need money. They have parents to take care of them, right? So let me just finish. Today's topic was about sexual energy, beginning of everything. Sexual energy is aliveness. Sexual energy is a freedom. Sexual energy is your confidence. Sexual energy is your marker. Sexual energy is a freedom. Sexual energy is your confidence. Sexual energy is your marker, how you connect with other people. Sexual energy is circulation. But as a human, I can't measure. Right? That's why you do not see sexual energy. Right? Human created gadgets that tell you what the speed they have because they measure, they have equipment. But we humans, we can't establish this. But everyone believes in Wi-Fi, right? That there is a Wi-Fi in there. So that's why I'm talking about sexual energy, that people should start believing that this is there, okay? And we create the sexual energy in our body, okay? It's our gift, okay? We designed to make it. We are the robot who produce this energy, right? And it's just a different speed or different megabytes everyone is producing, and there is a switch on and switch off button, okay? Why I'm saying this? Because there are people who are turned on and there are people who are turned off, right? Am I right or not? Okay, so sexual energy, it's a powerful energy that can create many things for you. Okay, first of all, it's responsible for your adult health, right? It's responsible for your relationship. Sexual energy responsible for your achievements, for your goals, right? How you represent yourself in the world, how much you are open, how much you are pursuing those things, what you like, right? Different people pursue different things, okay? This is me now talking into the world and using a sexual energy to connect with you. That's why you're here. You want a little bit of a sexual energy. Why the biggest interest for humanity now on this planet is for porn channels? Because they want to educate themselves and they want to understand more about sexual energy. Okay? 80% of content online is adult content. I just Googled, I know these numbers were crazy, but that's what I found out, okay? So we produce sexual energy and we can suppress that energy, okay? And that energy is risky energy, being on the edge, okay? Looking for novelty, looking for adventure. This whole sexual energy vibration. And when couples arrive for a photo shoot, for erotic photo shoot, they also have a different speed or different megabytes of their sexual energy. Some like really on the high vibration. Recently, I shot the couple, which is 20 years together, and I asked them after a shoot how long they are together, because for me it felt like they are 2 years, you know, like they are just starting. Okay, and the vibe with them was amazing. Okay, this is something what I have not seen. Okay, when I was growing up, we know that people start a relationship on a high end. They have a chemistry. The sexual energy is on point, right? And then something happens with people. Okay, and we justify what happens, right? People, you know, very clever creatures, they find the reasons and they try to justify many things. okay? But I would say this is the energy that has to level up if you want to go higher and higher with your vibration. And no one taught us, okay? No one taught us. People just speak about splitting up, leaving, separation, okay? When we go into a certain critical crisis moments, right, there is another level of energy, a higher game, another, you know, level is waiting for us. But most of the time what we do, we quit, we leave, and we think that we will find someone better. And then what happens, you go again in a circle, because with that one it's gonna be better for, you know, 1 or 2 years like it was, and then again you're stuck in the same mode, and then you think, oh, I need to change again into a new partner. So life is like a, you know, it's like a game. When you play, you just don't have a console, you know, to play. So it has a lot of levels, and levels are defined with the energy, what kind of the vibration you have. And people want to be really, really happy, they need to go on a high beat, on the high speed of their energy. You know, that's the thing, that's the reason, okay? So sexual energy is something that we produce or not, that we vibrate with or not, okay? Sexual energy is a beginning. It's the beginning of your relationship. It's the beginning of your life. Sexual energy is the beginning of your family, okay? And sexual energy, it's the beginning of your career. Even the business is literally related to how you are and who you are in your sexual energy. That's how important it is, okay? And I am here to talk about it. I love this topic so much. So if you want to ask questions, important it is, okay? And I am here to talk about it. I love this topic so much. So if you want to ask questions, you see me next time about erotica, erotic photography, okay? We practice here undressing, and of course we practice here sexual energy vibration, because to go into a sexual energy, it means to be very, very confident in your body and in your mind. And imagine this, how many people vibrate this energy when they're doing it first time? How many people are in their element when they are on stage first time, in front of the camera, in front of the stranger, me, photographer, right? How many people are in this vibration? Everyone who is in adult business, okay? They don't need preparation, they don't need time to go into the mode or into the zone. They practice this, okay? They practice this, you know? And so this is something what you gain, develop, train yourself to go into, and then becomes natural, okay? And what I'm saying is to go into, because when you're an adult, right, you, like me, probably grow up in a environment there it was a taboo. It was not allowed to discuss even, okay, to talk about it, not to show, not to express, okay? I grown up in a family where sexuality, people, you know, people around me did not show any feelings, they did not show any affection. It was not allowed even to kiss in public, you know, or hug or something, right? And if we see someone expressing their feelings, you know, how to say, how you would feel. How you would feel when you will be watching. Most of the adults will feel awkward, embarrassed, this is not supposed to be, this does not belong and stuff. Just a warm connection. I'm not saying, you know, something more, right? Just warm connection, right? So there are children who are growing up in the families and they do not see intimacy between their parents because they're hiding it. And then they don't know what kind of vibration has to be in a relationship, what kind of connection they're looking for. And that's for when they are confused when they go into adult life and looking for their match. Okay, because they don't know what that is love, what that is true, hot, intimate connection, right? So everyone goes to corn channels to check, to see, to get more information, to learn, to educate themselves. That's where they get the information, right? It's like we don't know what is the quantum physics, so we go and check and see and read, right? What is the quantum physics? For a child who is growing up, doesn't know what is sexuality, is intimacy. They don't know. Yes, it's natural in us, okay? We mature, we have hormones kicking in, and it's a biological need, right? Mentally we've developed differently. Physically we prepare for intimacy, right? And for other stuff, relationship. But information is missing there. Okay? Information is missing. Relationship. But information is missing there. Okay? Information is missing. Like your business sorted, your health would be on point. Okay? Yes or no? Right? Run away from it. Okay? Why to practice this? Why to go into it? Because you need it. You can't have a great life without sexual energy as an adult. As a child, yes, you can see without sexual energy as an adult. As a child, yes, you can. Seriously. You can stay in a child's vibration and live like that. You can. And everyone has a right to it. But if you want to raise your game, and there are people who want to be very, very happy in every aspect of their very, very happy in every aspect of their very, very happy in every aspect of their life. And adults, you see, they have one interest fair, to be loved and to live in love. When you die, you'll always think about that, not how much money you have in your account. And I know that, I know that. Because when my partner was dying, all he cared is about people who he loved. Okay? He didn't care about, other stuff. His status or his winnings or his goals, how much, he achieved in life. Believe me, I know men, they concentrate, they want to show off in front of others, right? How in terms of the, what is in their bank, that's the power. They think this is the power, money is the power. And it's true, we are living in a material world. But when you bring your sexual energy up, the life will change, okay? Because you can't buy love. There are things you can't just buy. And I'm really happy for this, okay? Thank you so much. Love you, kiss you, mean it. Bye. Bye for now. See you next time. Oh my gosh, let me switch off this first. Bye, 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 bye. No, why I cannot switch this off? And